What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Unstoppable. Today's guest is none other than Anthony O'Neill. Anthony, what is the name of your company? You just told me.
Man, it's AO Enterprises.
AO Enterprises, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, welcome to the program, man. I wanted to introduce you to the audience. If you guys are familiar with Dave Ramsey, financial guru, Anthony worked for him or with him for some time, and Anthony with AO Enterprises has really branched off and is doing amazing things. Man, I see you on. You're a major influencer on the platforms out there, on all platforms. I see that.
Man, listen, I'm grateful. I'm extremely grateful for it.
Yeah. I mean, how'd you get into finances, man? Let's talk. Let's just jump right into it. How'd you get into that?
You know, for me, man, it started back when I was, a little kid. I grew up in a very strong Christian faith home.
Yeah.
And I grew up knowing the word of God, and I knew everything about church, down to the point to where I couldn't go to school dances, couldn't go to school football games, couldn't go to the mall. I couldn't do nothing if it wasn't homework, if it wasn't going to school or going to church.
Wow.
Yeah. And the only thing my parents taught me about money was tithing.
Okay.
If you get $100, you give 10 of it to the Lord. Then the other $90, any school shoes, any school supplies, any lunch, you are responsible for that.
Yeah.
And so when I graduated high school with limited knowledge and wisdom on how to practically use money, win with money, I jacked up money. Got into college, tried to impress the ladies, tried to impress my friends, racked up about $35,000 in debt before I was even 18 and a half. $15,000 of that was in credit cards. $10,000 of that was, we should probably stop that, huh?
That's all right. Hey, this is an uncut show, man. We hear all kinds of stuff. You might hear dogs barking on my end.
Let me put it on focus and do not disturb. So that way, that was my mama calling me. She just heard me talking about it.
Yeah, see, that's what you get. That's what you get.
Yeah, but I racked up all this debt, and unfortunately, made a bad decision when I was in college, and my parents didn't allow me to come home.
Okay.
It was like, hey, since you think you're a grown person, how about you go live with the grown consequences?
Yeah.
And, I did just that. I went and called all my friends and that I tried to impress, called all the ladies that I spent money on. And not one person said, hey, come get a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Not one person said, come lay your head on this couch, when several of them slept on my couch when I had my apartment. Wow. When I lost everything, not one of my friends who I spent all that money on tried to help me out. So when people ask me, what made you want to get into the financial world? It's a simple answer. My dumb mistakes, the lack of knowledge, because at the age of 19, I was $35,000 in debt, homeless, sleeping in the back of my car, solely because of the poor decisions that I made. Not because my parents were broke and they didn't have a house over their head and they weren't eating. Now, I don't come from rich parents, but I come from the average everyday parent. And I could have made better decisions, but I was so focused on impressing people with my money, with credit cards, with old leather couches and old 60-inch panel TVs that I racked up all this debt and ended up homeless. So that's really how I got into it, because I was like, there has to be a different way to get the life that I want without racking up so much debt.
Yeah.
It has to be a different way to drive the car that I want without making, a payment. There has to be a life to where I can work Monday through Friday and enjoy the fruit of my labor Friday through Sunday. Yeah. So I just started doing research and found out about my friend and mentor and old teammate, Dave Ramsey. I was on his team for about 7 years and took his course, Financial Peace University, worked and traveled around the world with him for about 6.5, 7 years. And man, it's been a journey from there.
What a great team to be on, Dave Ramsey team. But, you talked about that. You shared that part of your story, man, of being, a homeless. But from that, we get a bestseller. From that, we get who you are today. Yes. And, a lot of times um, folks will want to fault their parents and get mad at their parents. Nah, man, they forced you really to become kind of who you are today. So we praise God for that. But one thing that our parents didn't do, and I'm glad you're out here doing, I know my parents didn't, plenty of love, all kinds of love, but financial literacy was not taught. Right. And before I talk about my parents, let's talk about me as a parent. I did not teach my now adult children financial literacy either, because I didn't know it myself. And, we was just, we were trying just to make that peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we just spent on crazy things, not by any means, but we weren't taught financial literacy. I've never owned a pair of Jordans, ever in my life. I don't think my son has. And that because our focus has never been on those things, but at the same time, our focus wasn't financial literacy. We've never done without. We've never lived in excess, but we still have been up into the past couple of years financially ignorant on what to do with the resource. So you're in it, man. You're in it. You're teaching it. You get under who I think is one of the greatest mentors or teachers of it from a Christian point of view. Because like we're in the Black culture. You go to church, you get taught the tithe. And the rest you have to figure out.
Absolutely. And I think that it's important for one thing that I love about my parents, right, was afterwards they were like, hey, we apologize. We didn't teach you what you needed to know. So part of this is our problem too, because the Bible clearly says, train your child the way that they should go. And they trained us spiritually, which is probably the most important and the foundation of every human being who believes in the Christianity perspective. Right. But on the practical side, the Bible also says faith without works is dead, that faith and works work hand in hand. Yeah. So we got to go hard on the faith side, but we also got to go hard on the practical side, on the work side. And like, hey, son, hey, daughter, hey, family, hey, friends, here's how we work. Here's how we produce and build wealth. Big ups to your parents for making that apology, because I've done it myself. Yeah, I've had to pull my kids aside and say, listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Me and your mom didn't teach you anything. I don't even know where to begin. But at the same, when it comes to wealth building and what that really is and what that really is. So you got involved in it, man. You wrote a book. What's the name of your book? Man, I wrote a book called Debt-Free Degree. It's the step-by-step process on how to get your children into college 100% debt-free. Okay. It's a book that has, an amazing book. It was a #1 national bestseller about 2 years ago. Wait a minute. Wait. Let's stop right there. You mean my kids can get into college 100% debt-free without having to dribble a basketball or carry a football? Absolutely. Or play an instrument. I'm trying to help somebody out there. Your kid doesn't have to be a 4.0 or 4.5 student. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of the biggest decisions when it comes to going to college free is your school's choice. Yeah. What we have to do, especially in the minority community, have to stop teaching our kids that, hey, you need to go to Harvard, you need to go to Yale, you need to go to this prestigious 4-year school. Let me tell you something, man. I know people who went to prestigious schools, but they didn't turn out as prestigious individuals. That's right. But I know people who started off at a community college, went to trade school, transferred to a 4-year in-state local school, and came out as a prestigious individual. Yeah. When you really look at it, man, the average 4-year in-state, is going to run you about $9 to $10 grand. Okay. That's $800, $900 a month. Wow. Yeah. To go to a school. If you want to be a school teacher, do you need to go to the school that costs you $300 grand to become a school teacher, to come out only making on average about $42,000 a year? Yeah. Or do you need to go to your community college, get the first 2 years paid for, depending on what most majority states offer that, then transfer to your local in-state. You just got your 4-year degree for less than $20,000. Yeah. And let's even go deeper. If you go to North Carolina, you get accepted to UNC Pembroke, right? Man, you're going to get 4 years for less than $5,000. That's all I'm saying. Wow. That's all I'm saying. So it's all about School choice and then doing the research.
Yeah.
When you do the research, don't just jump on this school because that's where mom and dad went, or that's where everyone else, all your friends are going, or that's where you want your son to go. No, sit down, son, daughter. Let's identify, what do you want to do? And does that require a 4-year degree?
Yeah.
If you want to get into welding, he don't need a 4-year degree.
No.
You go to welding school.
Right. Yeah.
So man, you don't have to be no celebrity. You don't have to be super smart. But if you're going to go to school debt free, you have to be determined and you have to be disciplined.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, man. I love it to see a young man just really giving the real and really encouraging. Because I think sometimes as parents, especially in the African-American community and in the Hispanic community, we just tell them, you got to go to school. Well, okay. You know, my son gonna be a doctor. He has no skills and no desire to be a doctor. There's nothing wrong with, like you said, going to welding school. There's nothing wrong with getting. Watch this. I'll take it a step further. There's nothing wrong with getting a CDL. How about that?
Yep. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, being a barber. There's nothing wrong with being a hairstylist. There's nothing wrong. And check this out. Now, I'm going to say this. Now, some parents may get upset when I say this, but I'm going to say it. There's nothing wrong with your child being a YouTuber.
Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it. The majority, 75% of my income comes from what I do on YouTube.
Say that louder for them to hear it in the back, because I get it. I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like 75% of my income comes from what I do and produce on YouTube.
Yeah.
The rising small type of business are content creators, are YouTubers, are podcasters. You have YouTubers and podcasters making $1 million, $2 million by year 3 to 5 in the business.
Yeah.
So if your son or your daughter comes to you and says, y'all want to be a YouTuber, I would honestly sit down with them and say, okay, listen, what's the game plan?
Yeah.
Who can we get on YouTube and learn the game plan from? Because if they work it right, they can be making 6 figures year 1. And then if they really work it right, man, by year 3 in the game, they're making $1 million, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And are still prestigious people.
Prestigious. If you're making 6 figures, you are prestigious.
Yeah. Man, this is good stuff, man. I love the energy that you bring. I love what you're doing, man. Been watching for a little time. Had to get you on here, man, just to kind of encourage, because there's so many folks right in that age group. And I think I don't know. I'm 53. Some of my generation get it, but I guess I'm a young 53. I don't know. But there are other ones who don't. And our job is to really encourage. My job is to really bring people along, help them find their strengths. It's okay. I have grandsons. And they spend some time, probably more time than what their mom or dad would have liked, on the Fortnite and doing some different things. And they hear a lot of crap for it. But I told him, I said, listen, when I was 12 and 13, I'm out in the street stealing bicycles and chasing girls. At least he's 12 and 13. He's in the house. And my grandson, and not only him, but they are experts in logistics.
Wow.
And their parents don't even know it.
Love it.
I can take my 13-year-old grandson and put him in charge of the supply stuff. And I'll never run out. I'll never run out of anything, because he understands supply and demand, because those games are teaching him that.
Let's go.
And so anyway, that is again, parents will probably won't listen to this episode, but we encourage in those who are doing some things that are, it's like surfing. It's like seeing the next wave and riding it.
Man, listen, man.
It's seeing that next wave and riding it.
And the thing is, you got to ride it. And we got to teach our young people now, hey, ride this wave as much as you possibly can. Yeah. But while you're riding this wave, be a good steward of every wave.
Yeah.
Of every opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where you come in, man. I think you have a voice. Listen, Dave Ramsey's voice was for me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your voice is for this generation, is my son, my daughter in their 30s, you know, them coming up, you got a voice that really speaks to them and say, hey, listen, let me show you some strategies on it. Let me show you some life hacks on how to build wealth with what you're making now.
Go. And we're going to do it.
You know, you know, people think that they have to build wealth. You can, if you budget $25 right, you can eventually build wealth.
No, yeah. And if you could just budget whatever you have,
yeah,
you will eventually build wealth, because now what you're doing is you're telling your money what to do rather than your money telling you what it's going to do.
Wow.
You have control over your future. You have control over your finances. And when we can just do that, when we can be a good steward of the minimum, of the small, when we do have more, we'll be a great steward there, and we'll know how to duplicate it, man. When it comes to money, man, there's three main things: make it, manage it, multiply it.
Say that again. Say it again. Make it,
manage it well, multiply it.
Wow.
And if you really, as a Christian, I make it that's in line with the word of God. It doesn't contradict the word of God.
Yes, sir.
I manage it because, you know, the Bible says, just to be a good steward over the gifts, and then boom, multiply it. I mean, what are the first thing he told us to do? You know, he told us to multiply.
Yeah.
And so I want to multiply. But those are the three basic things when it comes to finances that we just got to do. And if we can do that and do it well, you will be wealthy.
What are one of the principles, man? Somebody lines up with you, they get under your coaching, your tutelage, man. Just give me one principle you may start them out with that they can learn and understand and grasp. Just today, if you were teaching just one principle, just give me the surface. Just give me the introduction into that one principle.
That if you want to change your future, you got to step outside of your comfort zone. You know, don't allow your comfort zone to become your kill zone.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even understand that they are the reasons why their dreams are not coming to pass. They are the reason why they are not reaching and getting that promotion on their job. They are the reason why they're not eliminating their debt. And the reason is because your excuse is your reason. Your comfort zone is your reason. You are the greatest enemy to your success.
You mean it's not the man?
Nah, man, it's not always the man. I would definitely say it's not. You know what I'm saying? Not all the time. Now,
it's not the enemy. You know,
it's not the enemy, man. It's you. The greatest enemy to your success is not racism. It's not the man. It's not her. It's not him. It's you and your mindset.
I love it, man.
You know what I'm saying? If you can sit here and say, hey, I'm going to be successful. I don't care what the White House throw towards me. I don't care what racism or whatever may come towards my way. Yes, it may slow me down. Yes, it may make me jump over a hurdle. But you know what? I've said I am going to win. I am going to be successful. And I am going to do whatever it takes to become successful. And I'm not going to stay in my comfort zone, because your comfort zone will become your kill zone. Yeah. Nothing extraordinary happens inside of our comfort zone. It's when we step outside of that and we step inside of our faith zone.
I love it, man. I love what you're talking. I love what you're saying. You're telling the God's honest truth, man.
Yes, sir.
You're telling the truth. Do not allow your comfort zone to become your kill zone. Write that down. Keep that. Put that in your pocket, ladies and gentlemen. You know, and I love that. You are your greatest enemy. Nobody else. The messaging that you're telling yourself, all of that is very important, man. I love it, man. I love it. Where can they find you, man? Where you at? I know where to find you, but you share it with the audience. I know where you are.
Man, you can go to anthonyoneal.com. You'll find everything there for my course for single people, for my YouTube channel, my podcast information, some free resources on what to do with your money. There's a lot of great things you can find there.
Anthony, what are you learning right now? I love to ask my guests that. What are you learning? What are you personally learning? A lot of times, guys like you and men and women like us, we teach, talk, and teach, talk, but we very rarely share some time what we are learning. What are you learning about yourself, and what are you learning?
I mean, right now I'm doing a lot of learning. I'm learning a lot around the NFT world from a career perspective, but then about myself is I'm really learning in this season how to trust me more. You know, just was just about maybe 7 months ago, man. I just branched out on my own, decided to leave the Dave Ramsey camp with his blessings and permission. And so, you know what? I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna build my future. I'm gonna build my legacy. I'm gonna build my business.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, there are sleepless nights, there are stressful nights, and
Yes,
I'm
sir.
learning to trust more in the capabilities that God has put inside of me. And man, I'm just surrounding myself around mentors who are pruning me, who are sharpening me, who are affirming me, and who's giving me the wisdom and knowledge that I need to operate in this season. So really spending a lot of time to really learn what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, and how do I surround myself who are strong in the areas that I'm weak on so I can grow this business.
What's one of the toughest lessons you learned, man, with solopreneurship or entrepreneurship?
That team, I mean, having a solid team is the secret to success.
Yeah.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs think I can do it on my own. I can do it by myself. Nah, I've never met a multi-millionaire who is building $1 million business that is influential, that is impactful, and is by themselves.
Yeah.
I had to learn that while I can do everything, it is not healthy and it is not best for me to do everything. And you have to have a team to really help you get to that next level. And so it's been hard, man. I mean, that's why I had sleepless nights, because I'm the video guy, I'm the editor, I'm the audio guy, I'm the graphic guy.
No, right.
I gotta cut the grass guy. I'm all this, and then things are dropping. And I was like, yo, I need to hire some help.
Yeah.
I was trying to be stingy with the money and keep all the money. But I had to learn, the number one way to grow your business and to be successful is to sow back into your business. So I had to get the money and then sow back into it by hiring other people.
I heard, I don't know if it wasn't Gates. It was, who was the, I can't think of his name, the Apple guy. Who started Apple? Started Apple, started the iPod stuff.
Oh, I know you're talking about, man. My brain just went blank too. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs. I read a book one time where he said, I don't cut grass. They asked him, they said, how do you come up with a lot of these ideas? He said, I don't cut grass. And it took me so long to wrap my mind around that, but it was like a light bulb went off. It's like, I'm not going to spend time cutting grass. I'm going to hire somebody to do that.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to hire somebody to do some of the things that so I can continue to develop and to become. And that's another thing that we haven't done in the past. It's another thing that I started to do about 5 years ago. Full transparency to you and the Unstoppable audience. I left the 3-bedroom, 4.5 bathroom. Matter of fact, it was four bedroom, 4.5 bathroom, something crazy, yard. I left all that. Because I'm not shoveling snow anymore. I'm not cutting grass anymore. I'm not dealing with all that. I came to a place to where all of our adult children, of course, they're grown, they're gone. We downsized, but I needed a place that fed my creativity. And I learned to hire people, like you said, to do the things that there are people, and you know it, that love to do what you hate to do.
Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, hire them.
Absolutely. Hire them today.
Yeah.
You know, if you do, I'm doing that. I'm always looking, and plus it's a tax write-off. So I mean, if I can save time and write off the money, you got the job. If you love doing it, you have the job.
Yeah. So man, that's great, man. And I'm glad so many people have to know, man, that, this entrepreneurship, solopreneurship is not for the faint of heart.
Right.
It's not for the faint of heart. All right. So let's talk about money real fast, because I got some people on here that make money, young and old alike. When I say make money, it might be a $12 an hour job. Yeah. What's the first principle that they need to wrap their mind around when they come and work with you, when they start beginning to talk about money? Singles, I'm sure you invite some married folks along too.
Yeah.
What's the first thing that you're going to say to them? You're not about their money.
Yeah. The first thing is, man, what's your vision for your money?
Gotcha.
What's the vision for your money? What's the vision for your life, and what's the vision for your money? And are they congruent? Are they working hand in hand? Anthony, I want to buy a house. Okay, cool. Do I see that on your budget? AKA the vision for your money. Anthony, I want to pay off my debt. Cool. Do I see it on your budget? Anthony, I want to, be able to propose to my young lady whenever I get married. I mean, whenever I find one. Okay, cool. Do I see it in your budget? Where there is no vision, that's where people perish. And I think it's the same thing for our money. Where there is no vision for our money, that's why we're losing it, because we've never sat down and said, all right, this is where I'm going in life. And my budget, my vision for my money is working hand in hand with
I
it.
like that. I like what you said. I like replacing that word budget. That word budget is scary for people.
Yeah, it is.
But vision for my money is different. I like that, man. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Somebody told me one time, I was a young guy, spent a lot of money. And matter of fact, I think it was my father. He said to me, "You must not like money." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you don't never have it."
That is funny. That is funny.
You must not like it, son. Why you say that? Because you don't never have it.
That is funny.
So you start off with, what's the vision for your money? I like that.
Yep. What's the vision? What's the vision for your money? And then really, that's just going to tell you where to go from there. So if your vision is, I want to eliminate debt, cool, great. We're going to get on the debt. What's a debt-free journey? I use the baby steps that Ramsey came up with. I did kind of like remix them a little bit just to make it a little bit more relevant to this younger generation. Yeah. But then also as well, let's say you are out of debt. Okay, cool. I want to buy a house. All right, cool. We're going to go down. This is a journey for a house. Now, my recommendation is you shouldn't be buying a house if you're drowning in student loan debt.
Right.
Especially because it's like, I think a lot of people get confused that, well, if I'm spending $1,000 on rent, I can spend $1,000 on a mortgage. Well, that is true, but you still can't afford a house if all you can afford is $1,000 a month. Yeah. Because your utilities are going to go up. You got grass bill, snow bill, depending on where you are. It's just a lot more.
Hot water heater is going to crap out.
Absolutely. I just moved into this house yesterday and I already got a water leak on this house, and while I am upset, I'm not financially tripping because it's like, dang, I don't want to pay this money, but hey, man, at least I got the money to pay it. Yeah. And so I really want to make sure that I am helping people position themselves to move forward. Yeah. And for the most part, never have to go back. We may have to pause and we may have to take one step back because we may have to go into our emergency fund, but and we may have to pause because we may have to, pull funds from, your job or from your business, and we're not really progressing forward. But the key thing is we want to continue moving forward or pause, but never go back to where we were.
Yeah. What percentage, man? I'm trying to help some people, trying to ask all the questions I wish someone would have answered for me when I was married at 22 years old. What percentage of the paycheck should go into savings?
It's really going to be all depends on what your goal is. So for me, I teach have at least, if you're single, put 6 months of your average expenses in a savings account. Gotcha. And then I really do encourage people like, hey, especially if you're in your 20s, go ahead and get 6 months of your average salary. Because if you can put 6 months of your average salary, it puts you in a great position to where you can live your life as normal for 6 months, or you can extend that 6 months and turn that into like now 9 months of your expenses. Gotcha. Or maybe 12, depending on how you live. Okay. So I tell people, once you say, all right, I'm ready to start saving, put 6 months of your average expenses in. So if your 6 months expenses come up to $5,000 or $10,000, all right, cool. Let's divide that up into what is a reasonable amount that you can afford to do to get to that goal quickly monthly. So if you can put $400 away a month, cool, great. Let's just start stacking away $400. The key thing is you want to get to that 6 months of expenses, or 6 months of expenses first. And then depending on what you want to do next, if I want to buy a house, I'm going to say, keep 6 months of your expenses and then go ahead and start saving for that down payment on the home. If you're like, yo, I don't want to buy a house right now, I'm just chilling. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and keep that 6 months of expenses and up it to 6 months of your average salary. And then boom, this way now, when life do hit, you're not sweating. You don't have a major issue. Yeah. And that's important, man. I love the expense side of things. Yeah. But there are like, I just think, man, how can we just keep life going as normal for 6 months?
Yeah.
And if you're 20, 30 years old, not married, don't really have any kids, man, you could really do a lot within those 6 months. You can maybe take off a month and get away, do some thinking, do some brainstorming. If life happened, if you lost your job, or let's say COVID hits again, you got to go home.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, great. We're not sweating.
And I want to say to the 6 months is going to pass regardless, guys.
Absolutely. 6
months is going to pass. So you might as well be prepared for that 6 months, and then another 6 months, and then another 6 months. It's going to pass by, man. This is just good stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
This I don't want to have you give away all the secrets on the show today, but guys, you got to connect with them.
Please do.
One more time, where can they find you? How can they connect with you? One more time.
Man, go to anthonyoneal.com. If you're single, I have a course on there called The Singles Blueprint, the 8 pillars to maximizing your single life, gaining clarity on your vision, and starting to build true and lasting legacy. I'm really walking through the whole steps on, hey, here's what you need to be doing to win with your money, with your life, and to really maximize your single season. So you can go to anthonyoneal.com. You'll see the course there. Okay. You'll see all my free resources, my shows. But man, this has been a great show, man. I appreciate you and your time, and for allowing me to talk to your people.
Man, I appreciate you, man. You know, you and I had some challenges today, but we're going to keep it. We still want to stay on, still wanted to get on. I got to ask you this, man. I ask every guest that comes on, Anthony, if you could have a billboard anywhere in the world, where would it be and what would it say?
In the world, it will be anywhere where the most Black people living in poverty are.
Yes, sir.
And it will say, you don't have to be here forever. Hit your boy up.
I like it.
You don't have to be here forever. Hit your boy up.
I like it. I like it, man. Thanks for your time today. Guys, reach out to Anthony O'Neal. You don't have to be where you are forever. Hit your boy up.
Yes.
Find him on the platforms, anthonyoneal.com. That's what you said it was, right? First off.
Yes, sir.
AnthonyO'Neal.com. That's Anthony ONEAL. AnthonyO'Neal.com. Start a relationship with him. He is approachable. He's touchable. He's just not going to just put you off to the side and have someone else deal with you. That's not the kind of cat that he is. And allow him to teach you the language of financial literacy now. It's not too late. You have time. I don't care how old you are, especially if you're younger. It's not too late. It's not how much you're making, it's what you do with it. Yes, but you can definitely build wealth. Thank you for listening to the podcast. My name is Ralph Grace Jr. If you haven't already, go over to my website, ralph@ralphgracejr.com, and subscribe. Also over there, if you go to the apply section, you can apply for our 6-week mastermind, personal growth, personal development. It is a ton of value over there. Coaching sessions. We're going to go hard for 6 weeks, 6 weeks that will get you started to transform the way you live and the way you approach success. And Anthony, watch this. I'm going to put Anthony on the spot. For those who sign up, man, can we have a special session with you?
Oh man, let's do it, man. Just let me know.
Just like that. See that, guys? See that? We're gonna call Anthony, but you got to be part of it. You got to. That'll be part of it. Maybe we'll come in and we'll have him do a class with us and for us. But it's 6 weeks of personal growth that will transform the way you pursue success. Go get my book, Unstoppable. I wrote 7 universal laws. I saw a lot of stuff as a police officer on the street for 20 years. But one thing I saw, that there are 7 universal laws, so universal principles. And when I say that, it's like gravity. It's a universal law. It doesn't care who you are. You have to respect it. But I wrote about 7 universal laws that will transform the way you pursue success and the way you understand that as well. So go pick it up wherever fine books are sold. Get that off my website, Barnes & Noble, wherever you want to get it. Also pick up Anthony's book. Anthony, where's your book?
Man, you can go anywhere, any bookstore, website, Amazon, you name it, it's there.
Okay, go get it. Guys, thanks for joining. I'll see you next time. Let's be unstoppable together. Peace.